Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today. We're diving deep into the story of a seemingly ordinary coin that might just blow your mind. We're talking about the Washington quarter from the year 1965, a coin that millions of people passed through their hands, unaware that one of these could one day be worth a life-changing amount of money. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about a quarter from 1965? After all, quarters are one of the most common coins in circulation. But here's the twist. 1965 was no ordinary year for American coinage. It was the beginning of a new era, one that marked a dramatic shift in how coins were made in the United States. Before 1965, quarters were made with 90% silver. These silver coins were cherished for their intrinsic value, and as silver prices rose, the government made a bold decision: stop using silver altogether. So, starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition. The Washington quarter that came out that year looked just like the older ones, but beneath the surface, everything had changed. Here's where it gets really exciting. During this massive transition, not everything went smoothly. In the chaos of switching from silver to clad, a few rare errors were made. Some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets, the blank discs intended for earlier coins. These are incredibly rare, and when found, they send shockwaves through the collecting world. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks like every other quarter, but when tested, reveals that it's made of silver instead of the standard copper-nickel. That's not just a minting error, that's a collector's dream. But the story doesn't end there. In addition to these rare silver strike errors, some 1965 quarters also feature misstrikes, double dies, and other fascinating anomalies. These aren't your average pocket change. These are numismatic treasures. Some coins were slightly off-center, some had blurred edges or doubled inscriptions, and a few even showed what collectors call die adjustment strikes, weakly struck coins used to calibrate the minting machines. Now here's what makes these quarters even more thrilling for collectors. Most people assume anything after 1964 isn't worth collecting unless it's pristine. That's a huge mistake. The 1965 Washington quarter has become one of the most talked about modern coins because of these rare flaws, and it has carved out a special place in the heart of coin hunters everywhere. Oh, how do you know if you might have one of these rare gems? Start by checking the coin's edge. If you can't see the copper-colored core that's normally visible in clad coins, you might have something special. A silver planchet error will have a solid silver-colored edge. Also, listen carefully. Silver quarters have a distinctive, higher-pitched ring when dropped compared to their clad counterparts. Of course, if you think you've struck silver, it's always a good idea to have the coin weighed or professionally tested. Collectors also value condition. A 1965 quarter in mint state, with a strong strike and little to no wear, will always fetch more. But if it has an error, well, that's when things get really interesting. The appeal of this coin goes beyond just metal and minting mistakes. It's a piece of American history. It tells the story of a nation adjusting to economic changes, managing its precious resources, and transitioning into the modern age of coin production. And in the middle of all that, a few rare and extraordinary coins slipped through the cracks, quietly waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. So now, the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much can a rare 1965 Washington quarter be worth? Hold on to your seats, because one of these rare error quarters, particularly one struck on a silver planchet and in excellent condition, has been sold at auction for a jaw-dropping total of $79,000. Yes, you heard that right. 79,000 United States dollars. For a single quarter. A coin most people would overlook or toss into a vending machine without a second thought. That's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And sometimes, that treasure is hiding in plain sight. The next time you're sorting through your spare change or digging through an old coin jar, remember this story. That one little quarter from 1965 might just change your life. Top 2, we've got something truly exciting to talk about. something that might just be sitting unnoticed in your change jar or tucked away in an old drawer. We're turning our attention to a coin that most people wouldn't even look at twice. But if you know what to look for, it could be worth a fortune. Get ready, because today we're diving into the mysterious and surprisingly valuable world of the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. Now at first glance, the 1967 quarter doesn't look like much. It doesn't have any silver in it. It doesn't feature a commemorative design. It wasn't even minted in limited quantities. In fact, over 1.5 billion of these quarters were produced. Yes, billion with a B. So what makes this common coin such a hidden treasure? To understand that, we need to take a trip back in time. The year was 1967. America was deep in the space race. The Vietnam War was raging, and cultural revolutions were sweeping across the nation. But over at the U.S. Mint, another kind of revolution was taking place, a shift away from traditional coinage materials. Just a few years earlier, in 1965, the United States had stopped producing quarters made from silver. Rising silver prices had made it too costly, so the mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. And during the transitional years of 1965 to 1967, the mint also suspended the use of mint marks on coins to prevent collectors from hoarding them. This lack of mint marks, paired with the new metal composition, meant the mint was operating under unusual conditions. With so many coins being produced and fewer eyes inspecting them for perfection, guess what happened? Mistakes. Glorious, valuable, rare mistakes. And that's where the magic of the 1967 Washington quarter lies. Among those billions of coins, a very small number were struck with incredible, collectible errors. Errors that can turn a 25-cent piece into a prize worth thousands. Some of the most sought-after 1967 quarters are the ones struck on silver planchets left over from previous years. That's right, some silver blanks somehow made their way into the presses even after silver was phased out. These coins have the look and feel of a regular quarter, but their weight and sound are different. When dropped, they produce a high-pitched ring that only silver can make. Then there are the double-die quarters, coins that show noticeable doubling in the date, the lettering, or even George Washington's profile. These are dramatic, easy to spot with the naked eye, and highly desirable among collectors. A strong double die from 1967 is a rarity and adds a whole new level of value. You may also come across off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die adjustment errors. These coins were born from a momentary lapse in the precision of the minting machines, struck when dies were misaligned or when planchets were not properly positioned. The result? Imperfect, beautiful anomalies that stand out and scream, "I'm unique." And let's not forget condition. A 1967 quarter in circulated condition may still only be worth face value. But in mint state, especially graded MS, 67 or higher, these coins become exceptional. Combine high-grade condition with a minting error, and now we're talking serious money. Why is this coin especially exciting for collectors? Because it breaks all the rules. It's not old enough to be ancient. It doesn't contain precious metals. It wasn't part of a special edition set. And yet, it's because of its ordinary status and the massive production run that errors have become so valuable. Finding a perfect or flawed example in the sea of billions is like winning a modern-day treasure hunt. And this is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. The idea that a forgotten quarter from a moment in history, maybe even hiding in your home, could be a one-of-a-kind mistake worth more than most people earn in a year. So, you've been patient. You've stuck with us through the history, the minting errors, and the numismatic deep dive. Now here it is. What is the most a 1967 Washington quarter has ever been sold for? One remarkable specimen, a coin that combined pristine condition and a rare error, stunned collectors, and fetched a grand total of $76,000. Yes, you heard that right, 76,000 United States dollars. For a quarter. So, the next time you go digging through your coin jar, flipping through old rolls from the bank, or cleaning out a relative's coin stash, pay close attention. The difference between spare change and a small fortune might be just a single minting error away. Top 3, we're diving deep into a coin that you may have walked past 1,000 times without realizing it could be hiding serious value. We're talking about a coin that carries the legacy of American history, mystery, and believe it or not, possibly a life-changing payout. Get ready as we uncover the secrets of the 1971 United States Washington quarter. Yes, that little 25-cent piece that might be sitting in your coin jar or stuck in your couch cushions could be worth far more than its face value. If you know what to look for, let's rewind the clock to the early 1970s. The year is 1971. The United States is emerging from a turbulent decade of social change, space exploration, and political shifts. The economy is shifting gears, and coinage is undergoing transformations too. That's where our humble Washington quarter comes into play. Now, the Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. But by 1971, the composition of the coin had changed. Gone were the days of silver quarters. Coins minted after 1965 were now made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means the 1971 quarter isn't silver, but don't let that fool you. There's more than meets the eye. What makes this particular quarter so intriguing isn't just its age or design. It's the rarity of finding one with specific errors or in exceptional condition. These are the coins that serious collectors are chasing. So, what should you be looking for? Let's talk about mint errors. These aren't just minor flaws. They're anomalies created during the coin's production that make a standard coin truly one of a kind. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1971 Washington quarter is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting. If the image is shifted dramatically, leaving a visible blank area on one side, collectors go wild for it. The more off-center, without losing the date or important features, the more valuable it becomes. Another rare error is the double die obverse, where elements like Liberty or In God We Trust appear to be doubled. This can make the coin appear blurry or give it a shadow effect, and it's caused by a misalignment when the die strikes the blank more than once. These doubled elements make the coin stand out immediately to trained eyes and can multiply its value dramatically. There's also the clipped planchet error, where a piece of the coin's edge is missing due to a miscut. It might look like someone took a tiny bite out of the coin, but to collectors, that bite could mean big money. And don't forget about the condition. A standard 1971 Washington quarter in your pocket change might only be worth a few cents over its face value. But if you happen to find one in mint state condition, that means uncirculated, with a shiny surface, strong details, and no scratches or dings, you're looking at a coin that immediately commands attention. Professional coin grading services rank coins on a scale up to 70. A 1971 quarter that grades 65 or higher is considered top tier. Coins with this level of preservation, especially combined with an error, are incredibly rare. And here's what makes this story even more exciting. A 1971 Washington quarter, in immaculate condition and showing a significant error, was once auctioned for a jaw-dropping sum. The final hammer price shocked even seasoned collectors. That single coin, just a simple $quarter from 1971, sold for an unbelievable $69,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that might look like ordinary change to the untrained turned out to be a small fortune. And this is why we say, never underestimate the power of the coins in your pocket. So, what should you do if you think you might have a valuable quarter? First, look closely for signs of errors, doubling, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or any unusual markings. Then check its condition. If it still has that brilliant mint luster, it could be worth getting graded. Coin grading isn't just for the pros. Any collector hoping to unlock serious value needs to know exactly what they have. Collectors around the world are always on the hunt for rare finds like this. The thrill of discovery, the joy of history, and the chance at a big payday make coin collecting more than just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt. So, whether you're just starting out or have been collecting for years, always pay attention to those quarters. You never know what rare gem might be hiding in plain sight. If you found this video interesting and want to keep uncovering more hidden coin treasures, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss another discovery. Share this video with your fellow coin lovers. They'll thank you. Top 4, we're zeroing in on a coin that has quietly gained the attention of collectors across the globe, the 1981 United States Washington quarter. It's not made of silver, it's not ancient, and it's not even a commemorative edition. So, what makes it special? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see how a small piece of American currency from the early 80s might be hiding in plain sight, waiting to deliver an unexpected payday. Let's travel back to 1981. Ronald Reagan had just taken office. The country was facing high inflation, the Cold War was still simmering, and the personal computer revolution was just getting started. But amid all this change, the U.S. Mint quietly struck hundreds of millions of Washington quarters, coins that would pass through vending machines, piggy banks, and cash registers without a second thought. But as any seasoned collector knows, not all coins are created equal. The Washington quarter had already been in circulation since 1932, honoring the first president of the United States. By 1981, the coin's composition was copper-nickel clad, no more silver, no flashy metals, just everyday materials for everyday use. But hidden among those everyday coins were a few with secrets, a few with flaws. And those flaws are exactly what collectors crave. Let's talk about those all-important errors. Coin errors are like hidden codes, tiny mistakes that turn a standard coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. And in the world of 1981 quarters, there are some fascinating ones to look out for. One of the most eye-catching is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die that imprints the design, but slightly misaligned. The result? A stunning, unmistakable doubling of features like the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." These double images are clear signs of a rare and valuable coin. Next up is the off-center strike. Imagine the entire design of the quarter pushed too far to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. It's an immediate visual standout and gets collectors buzzing. The more dramatic the shift, and the more complete the date and features that remain, the more desirable the coin becomes. Another rare error that has been reported in some 1981 quarters is the broad strike error. This happens when the coin is struck without the collar that normally shapes it, causing the edges to spread unnaturally wide. Combine that with a clean surface and clear details, and you've got something truly rare. And then there are the misaligned dies, die cracks, or even transitional planchets. Instances where the coin was mistakenly struck on metal mint for a different denomination or year. These minting errors are accidental masterpieces. They weren't supposed to happen, and that's what makes them so valuable. But errors aren't the only thing that can make a 1981 Washington quarter worth more than its face value. Condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Most of the 1981 quarters that left the mint entered everyday circulation. They got scratched, banged up, and tossed around. Finding one in pristine, mint state condition is extremely rare. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and those that rank at 65 or higher are considered top quality. A flawless 1981 quarter with strong luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear is something collectors will pay big money for, especially when it also features a rare error. It's this perfect storm of condition and rarity that has given rise to some incredible finds. While most 1981 quarters are still out there living their lives as humble pocket change, a select few have been pulled from the shadows and recognized for what they truly are, valuable artifacts of minting history. And now, for the part you've been waiting for, the kind of discovery that turns a hobby into a headline. One such 1981 Washington quarter, featuring a rare mint error and graded in exceptional condition, was sold at auction for an unbelievable total of $73,000. Yes, you heard that right. $73,000. For a quarter. So next time you're handed change at the store or digging through an old coin jar, take a closer look. Check the date. Examine the edges. Look for that doubling, that off-center strike, or that perfect mint shine. You could be holding something extraordinary without even realizing it. That's the thrill of collecting. That's the magic of coins. And that's why we're here, to help you spot the history and value hiding in plain sight. Top 5. We're diving into a coin that you might have overlooked in your spare change, a piece of American history that could be hiding in your pocket right now. So grab your coin jar, take a seat, and listen closely, because the quarter we're talking about today might just be worth more than your entire wallet. Yes, we're talking about the 1982 Washington quarter, a coin that, at first glance, looks like any other 25-cent piece. But don't be fooled. This ordinary-looking coin holds extraordinary secrets. It's a silent witness to a unique moment in U.S. mint history, and for the few that were struck with special errors or preserved in pristine condition, this coin has transformed from everyday currency into a collector's dream. Let's set the stage. The year was 1982. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. The Cold War was heating up, and America was shifting gears economically. In the midst of these national changes, something subtle but significant was happening at the U.S. Mint, something that would forever affect the way coins were made, and more importantly, collected. In 1982. Due to budget cuts and rising production costs, the U.S. Mint stopped producing proof sets and mint sets for the first time in nearly 2 decades. That might not sound like a big deal, But for collectors, it was huge. You see, mint sets are where many collectors get their highest quality coins. Without them, coins from 1982 were only available from general circulation. That means far fewer coins in mint state condition were preserved, and those that were? Well, let's just say their value has skyrocketed. But that's not the only thing that makes the 1982 Washington quarter special. This was also a year of design confusion and minting issues. In 1982, two different versions of the coin were made, one with a P mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint and one with a D mint mark from the Denver Mint. But here's the twist: some Philadelphia quarters were struck without any mint mark at all. That's right, no P, no D, just the date 1982. For error collectors, this was like gold. A 1982 quarter missing its mint mark is an instant red flag for rarity. Combine that with the fact that it's already hard to find high-quality quarters from this year, and you've got a coin that collectors will pay serious money for. And then we enter the fascinating world of mint errors. Imagine holding a coin that was never meant to exist in the form it was struck. That's what mint errors are all about, and the 1982 quarter has produced some remarkable ones. There are off-center strikes, where the design is shifted, leaving a blank crescent moon of metal. The more dramatic the off-center strike, especially when the date is still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Then there are double die errors, where the letters and numbers appear doubled, usually on the phrases "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." These doubled features aren't just cool to look at, they're high on collectors' wish lists. Another rare type of error is the clip planchet, where part of the coin is literally missing from the edge due to a miscut during minting. These aren't just minor defects, they're minting mistakes that turn a mass-produced coin into a unique collectible. And let's not forget about die cracks, broad strikes, and struck-through errors, each adding their own twist to the story of this remarkable quarter. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. Because the US Mint didn't release standard mint sets in 1982, very few people held on to quarters from that year in perfect condition. Most of them entered circulation and got nicked, scratched, or worn down. That's why it's nearly impossible to find a 1982 Washington quarter in high mint state. And if you do happen to find one, especially one with an error, it's a coin collector's jackpot. Coins are graded on a scale of 1 to 70, and a Washington quarter from 1982 that reaches a grade of 65 or higher is already rare. But if it also has a known mint error, well, let's just say you're not holding 25 cents anymore. You're holding a potential windfall. So how much could one of these coins actually be worth? Take a moment and think about it. A quarter that slipped through the cracks of history. A year with no mint sets. A missing mint mark. A perfect strike. Or maybe an unforgettable error. All of that wrapped into a single, unassuming piece of metal that you could mistake for ordinary pocket change. But in the world of numismatics, where every detail matters, that same coin. A 1982 Washington quarter with the right error and preserved in mint state condition, once sold at auction for a breathtaking total of $70,000. That's right. $70,000. So the next time you're sorting through change or counting your quarters at the store, pause for a moment. Look at the date. Examine the details. You just might be holding a hidden treasure. Thanks for watching, coin lovers. If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover more stories behind America's most surprising coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share this video with your fellow collectors. You never know who might have a $70,000 quarter sitting in a drawer. Until next time, keep hunting, keep dreaming, and always check your change. Because history is closer than you think, and sometimes it's worth a whole lot more than you'd ever expect.